I was from a working class family, went to school, pretty much an average kid other than I was alright at kicking football, so that was about it really. I went to school, made friends like any normal kid, went to classes, did okay, but the one place where I stood out was on the football pitch, and my family always put a lot of emphasis on how important education is because that's something that I need to have in place before I can play football, so I focused on that as much as I needed to, and then as soon as I got the chance it was all football. To be fair, I got into the game quite late, about 7 years old. I think kids these days get into about 3 or 4, which I think is crazy because they should be playing with toys and stuff, but I got into the game at 7 and didn't really enjoy it, but I had a bit of raw talent and I went to Birmingham and they nurtured it perfectly until I was 16, and now here I'm really looking forward to see how my development's gonna increase. My mum is the best woman in the world in my eyes, does everything for me, and I couldn't thank her enough for everything she does. It's hard for me to try and tell you how great she is without you meeting her, but yeah, she does everything for me. I couldn't be more grateful of her, and I'm really happy that in a difficult time where people aren't getting to see family, I've got my mum with me who's helping me out with everything. Yeah, I've got a little brother called Job who's in Birmingham at the minute, so yeah, it's been tough to see him. I've not seen him since, I can't remember the last time I seen him, so yeah, but I'll see him soon, and then I'm really missing them, so that's probably the toughest thing at the moment. But being on the football pitch kind of helps me not think about it, so yeah. Yeah, he's at Birmingham, he's doing really well, so yeah, of course, I'm like a normal big brother. I'm just so proud of him really, and I can't wait to see where his journey goes in football and as a growing young man. Yeah, for me it was always Wayne Rooney and Steven Gerrard. I think as when I was younger, it was like all I ever wanted was a Birmingham shirt, and then the more and more I watched Wayne Rooney, it was like all I wanted was a Wayne Rooney shirt, and all I wanted was a Steven Gerrard shirt. And these kind of people, they kind of mould the way that you play because you admire them so much. So yeah, them two are probably my two biggest heroes in football. Yeah, I've been in a professional environment since I was 15, always up with the first team, and if not with the first team, with the reserves. So I've always been in that kind of environment, so it sets you up perfectly, especially the championship for men's football, and there was never going to be anything that fazed me in terms of that, the professional side of the game, because I'd done it before for 2 years. So yeah, I felt very comfortable coming into the league. I was just so happy to get started. A lot of people made a lot about my transfer. For whatever reason, they maybe doubted me a little bit to compete with the other midfielders, and I feel like I offer something a bit different in there, and it was up to me to go out and prove it, and I got the chance in training, I got the chance in pre-season, and then I've been given my chance in the league, in the Champions League, in the Cup, and I've taken it so far, so I've just got to keep going. Yeah, I think in the Bundesliga it's very different. I think you get away with a lot less. It feels like there's not as much contact in the Bundesliga. But technique wise it's far better, and it kind of helps me perfectly because I've had the side where it's very physical, and now I come here and I get to just test my technique against other players' technique, and hopefully mine will shine. The first second I got signed, I was told about the Revierderby and about the hatred for Schalke, so it's important that we go out there and we don't just represent ourselves and the staff, but we represent the entire fan base. It's for them it's more than a football match. It's bragging rights, and it's something that I completely understand. And if I'm given the chance to go out there, I'll let that be known in my performance. Schalke are struggling. It's not something to laugh at all or anything like that. I think we go into the game very focused, and in a derby form and all that kind of stuff. The league table is really not relevant. It comes down to fight and the key moments in the game, and the last time we played them it was very cagey until we got the first goal, and when we did, that's when we started to pull away. But yeah, we're not at all. When the game comes, we'll be very focused on the opposition and not the place in the position in the league table. Sorry. I think it's simple really. I think we've conceded too many goals, and that's about it really. In football you've got to turn that down to be able to kind of give yourself the best chance of winning. I feel in a game we're always confident that we can score goals. I think we've proven that, but it's just keeping them out is proving to be quite difficult. But I think a lot's being made of our position in the league, but obviously the first, second place is quite far away, but the third and fourth is like 3 points and 6 points, so it's not a crisis, you know. It's down to us to change it. We're the only people that can change it. So the pressure's on us, really. There's no one else needs to worry except us, but we'll be fine. The one thing I've not got to see yet, which, you know, I can't wait to see, is the fans. You know, everything gets made out of how great the fans are, and, you know, I only get 2 chances in front of them with a smaller crowd, and it was brilliant. I enjoyed every second of it, and then I have to wait even longer for the 80,000, but yeah, that was definitely something that persuaded me as well. I think, you know, he's a really good talent, really promising talent. I think if you meet the boy as well, an excellent boy, you know, very humble. He's got his feet firmly on the ground, which is the most important thing for a young player. And I think he's got like the world at his feet as long as he can, you know, just stay focused. You know, he's scored 2 goals already, but, you know, you can see he's still adapting to first team football a bit. But as soon as I think he gets that click, I think, yeah, he'll be unstoppable. You know, when I look at players in the league that I really like the way they play, I think of the likes of Joshua Kimmich. I think like he's a brilliant player. I think he can do near enough everything with the ball. I think, you know, he can create from deep. He's brilliant defensively as well. So yeah, I think he's probably, you know, the benchmark at the minute in the league, and one day probably in world football. So it'll be good competing with him a few more times, seeing how I can, you know, learn off him and develop.